is Gastroliths, an 18-card game about dinosaur digestion. All cards will be rotated during the game, and this black corner here is to indicate the top right corner of all cards in play when introduced into the play area. As part of setup, players 1 and 2, if it's a two-player game, will get randomly assigned one of these two cards. The player with the P1 card will be going first in the two-player game, with player 2 taking the first action in the second round, then back to player 1, and so on. I will set up for a one-player game, so I will establish my stomach area by placing the P1 card here. I will shuffle up the deck of Gastrolith cards, set the deck up here. This is the draw pile. I shall draw 2 cards to form the display. Now, I have a choice of 2 cards, a plant card with a digestion value up here, this is 3, and a Gastrolith card with a digestive strength of 4, that's the blue square. I shall take the Gastrolith card. So this is the ingestion step, where I choose a card from the display to add to my stomach area. Having completed that, I'm moving on to the second phase of my turn, which is to carry out digestion. I don't have any plant cards to digest this time, so I'm going to take no action. Then during cleanup, we empty out the display and refresh it from the draw pile. We now have a choice of a Gastrolith or a Gastrolith. I'm going to take a Gastrolith. I now have 1, 2, 3 cards in my stomach area. There's only 1 space left that I can use, otherwise I can't take any more cards. I could have chosen to pass from the market, but I think this could be useful. So carry out the cleanup phase, and here we are. Right, I'm going to take the club moss. This is my first plant card. This is going to go during cleanup. So jump the gun a bit here. Now I have a plant value of 2 and a combined Gastrolith strength of 6. I only need to use 2 to digest this 2-cost card. So I'm going to rotate this Gastrolith card in order to digest this club moss card, each of which is rotated a quarter turn anti-clockwise to demonstrate that that's happened. Now I have a full stomach, which means that I won't be able to take any cards in the ingestion phase next turn. I probably want to, because I have quite a lot of strength left. I can't reuse this Gastrolith card this turn, it's been used. However, I can use this Gastrolith power, the arrow in an orange box, to digest a plant card that's already been digested this turn, thus rotating it another quarter turn. Now, as part of cleanup, we would have discarded the Ginkgo card at that point. We also discard any plant cards that with a filled circle at the top. This has now been digested, it's added to my score pile and is now out of the game. I now have a spare space in my stomach. Let's see what we can get. Excellent. So, this is a conifer, it's a 5-point card, which makes it quite expensive to digest, but worth 5 points at the end of the game, which is not insignificant. So I shall now use my combined 4 plus 2 strength, 6 to digest this 5-cost card. However, I will now need to pay another 5, which I can't do, but I can use my orange power to rotate the conifer an additional step. Both Gastrolith cards are now to be discarded during the cleanup phase because the X symbol is on the top right, so those now leave the stomach area. That leaves the market, or the display I should say. We refresh the offer row. Now, I shall take another Gastrolith. I shall use this card to digest this card, meaning that both of these also leave the stomach area. Now I have a mostly empty stomach with a pebble in it and quite an appetite. Okay, I could take the conifer and hope to get another few gastrolith cards to digest that, or I could take the cycad, which I know I can digest with just this. I'm going to push my luck a bit and see if I can digest the conifer. Cycad will go. I don't have enough digestive power to digest the conifer, so we shall move on to the next turn. That's good. Let's do it. So I shall take take this gastrolith card, discard that one. I'm going to use my combined strength of 6 to digest this conifer with a 5 cost. I've still got one space in my stomach for whatever comes up next. I think I'm going to go for the cheaper option. So I shall digest, use my, what have I got, 3, no, okay, right. So I'm going to use my 6 to digest this 5, which still gives me a surplus of 1, which I don't need because this has a digestion cost of 2, strength of 2, and a cost of 1, which gives a surplus of 1. So theoretically, I had 2 more digestive strength I could have played with, but I'm not able to use it. Now, unfortunately, none of these cards will leave my stomach area, so it is now full, which means that I can't take a card on my next turn. As part of cleanup, we empty and reshuffle. And repopulate the display. 1, 2. Okay, that's a bit of a shame because they're both quite good cards. I can't use either of them, however. What I can do is digest this and digest this. So that's gone, and that's gone. Stomach's now nice and empty. Unfortunately, neither of those cards have been digested, and we may struggle for scoring from going forward. Let's take a nice cheap card. I shall use my strength of 2 to digest this 1 value card. Those now go. That goes to the discard. Okay, I shall take that and use it, so it'll digest itself. Empty this. 1, 2. I won't be able to digest it, but I shall take the cycad, discard the club moss, and digest the seed fern with its own gastrolith. That enters the score pile. Now, the display is empty. I'm unable to refill it from the draw pile because that is also empty. That means that this is now the last round of the game. We skip the ingestion phase. If there was a card still in the market, because we, for example, had 1 card left in the draw pile to refresh it with, we wouldn't be able to take that. We can carry out 1 digestion action still, or we can still carry out the digestion phase, I should say. I don't have any ability to do that. I've just got a stomach full of cycad. What are you going to do? That means that the end of the game now occurs, so we can mostly ignore the contents of my stomach, and instead we're considering only the score pile. So what I shall do is take account of all the cards in the score pile. We're only interested in plant cards at this point. And there we are. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm so great at mental arithmetic. Hey Google, what's 15 times 6?
15 by 6 is 90.
90 points. So not a terrible score at the end of this game, not a great one, but one I'm happy with anyway. Well, yeah. Okay, so for the solo game, your goal is to gain a high score. In the two-player game, your goal is to score more than your opponent. Gastroliths!